I am an artist. I have been an artist my whole life. I started off drawing. I like to say that, art is like my first ever language, and has, shown throughout my life in different forms. So I did spoken word in high school until now, I guess. So 10 years of spoken word, and currently doing illustrations and drawings on Procreate. Overall, I would say that spoken word really, really shaped my life because it is something that is so uncomfortable for me. I have like severe stage fright, and I'm an immigrant, so I learned how to speak English, when I came here like 20 years ago. I was 6 years old, and I didn't start school until I was like 7 years old. And so I was in ESL a lot and super shy, super like quiet and terrified of like my own voice and terrified of speaking in any of my classes. And performing spoken word gave me my voice in a way, and I had lost that completely or just never had it prior. I just felt so much pressure, and so I never really spoke out, and it really shaped who I am as a person today. I was born in Saudi Arabia, but my parents are Ethiopian and Eritrean, and so they moved to Saudi Arabia because of the war in Eritrea. And then moving to America, I've always felt like an outsider or like an observer of everyone else because of having to learn certain things. Like ESL teaches you English, but it doesn't teach you how to like make jokes in a language. It doesn't teach you how to like, collaborate in a language. It doesn't teach you how to, different things. Like knowing a language is not enough. Knowing the culture and the language is good, and knowing that as a Black person coming into America, I never noticed that I was a Black person prior to moving to America, if that makes any sense. I knew that I was Black because my dad was and my mom was, but I didn't think of it as anything to be, like I'm Black. No, it's like everyone else is the same as you. And not to say that Saudi Arabia is like all Black, it's definitely not. But I was very young there, and so I didn't really see any of the differences there. But here, it was very apparent to me as a Muslim first, and then as a Black person after. So as a Muslim, it was like very, very apparent that they didn't like us very much. And it was 2000, 2001, right after 9/11 had happened, and my family was just very much like protective. My mom was very protective of us, and my first time ever seeing any kind of discrimination was when, we came to New York. That's how the immigrants usually do it. We go to New York, Ellis Island, and the guy had looked at my mom's paper, and it said Muhammad, Samira Muhammad. And it was my mother, who was covered in her like abaya and like her scarf, or like this cloth that's really long, with 2 kids. And the man was like, no, I'm not gonna let you guys in to go through. And my mom didn't have a phone, didn't have any like way to communicate to my dad on the other end to say like, no, we're not, it's a delay. Like, so she was very panicked. She like panicked. She was like, oh no, like I have kids, like we need to go. She didn't have money or anything like that. And so she just started screaming at him. And like 5 minutes prior to like the flight flying, he allowed us to go in. And I remember that like very clearly, that had happened, and how stressed my mother was and how stressed she was being Muslim like I just had never seen that. I was like, that was never a problem. I would say the civil unrest was really, I just kind of like was really upset at how late it was, at how late people became outraged by everything. I felt like, history told itself that there were so many things that were filmed. Oscar Grant, starting with Oscar Grant, starting with Emmett Till, all these different stories that we've heard. Why is it that this is the one moment that everyone's paying attention? It's probably because no one else is doing anything else, right? It's COVID, it's quarantine, everyone is not working, everyone is at home and just focused. And for that first time, everyone is noticing how much injustice there is. But I feel like if there wasn't a quarantine, I don't know if there would have been a civil unrest. Black history, everyone is filled with so much resiliency and like fighting for who they are outside of all of these injustices that are pushing them down. They fought through that and created whatever they created or whoever they were. So if that's Madam C.J. Walker, she created a whole business. She was like one of the richest people in the world at one point. If that's, MLK, he spoke in front of people and really fought and became the pinnacle of what we think of when we think of civil justice. And I think of, Africa. I think of Africa, and I think of the fact that these kings, these amazing people who were, intellectuals, teachers, were put on a boat and forced to be something they were not prior. So this idea of people who are slaves outside of people who were enslaved is very important, right? So these people were enslaved and finally finding their way back to who they really are, truly are. I think of just amazing people. I think of my people. I think of just my dad. I think of everybody, and I think of my brothers, and I think of my neighbors, and I think of everyone who really fought so much just to be alive every day.